Hi all, this week I wanted to talk about my journey to learn guitar while staying at home during the pandemic. I started this back in October or November of 2020. It's now April 4th, 2021. And so I've been doing this for about 6 months, and I would say really taking it seriously over the last 2 or 3 months. Why did I decide to learn guitar might be the first question you asked. Well, I wanted to do something new, learn some new skill that didn't require going to someone's house or being in a public place. And so after Googling and reading some Reddit threads, I found out most people online think that ukulele and guitar are the two easiest instruments to learn using online lessons. And then I discovered Justin Guitar, who seems to be highly recommended, highly rated anywhere you look, as far as a way to learn guitar online. He offers excellent free lessons. It's amazing that they're free. He asks for donations if you can, but otherwise his lessons are just out there for beginners to start learning. In his buyer's guide, which I would say might be more appropriately titled So You Think You Want to Learn Guitar, he tells you what you need to get, what that process is going to look like. And he points out that if you really don't have a strong preference either way between electric and acoustic, the action or the amount of force you have to apply to get the string pressed against the fret just right to hear the note you want to hear, that amount of force you have to apply is lower on the electric guitar than acoustic. And so you will have less finger pain. Your finger pain will last less long. You won't experience it for as much of your journey, pressing your fingers into these little metal strings on electric guitar as you would on acoustic. So acoustic is going to cause more finger pain. You're going to experience it for longer. It'll take longer to get it over. And I really didn't have a preference. I didn't know enough to have a preference. So I went and got an electric guitar using his advice rather than worry about the quality of their manufacturer. I got the one that when I look at it makes me want to play it. I want to pick up my guitar and mess with it because of the way it looks. Now that ended up being a little bit more money than I originally planned to spend, but I think it has paid dividends. This guitar looks very cool to me. I really want to pick it up and mess with it, and that encourages me to practice more than I otherwise would. Now, in my particular journey with Justin Guitar, I have been going through his modules, and for the first three modules, 0, 1, and 2, showing you here on the screen, I did exactly what he recommends. I practiced exactly what he said, exactly when he said, for exactly how long he said. Essentially, he has about an hour video or set of videos for each lesson broken up into topics, so you can go back and sort of look up the thing you were confused about or need more on easily. And then he recommends you have 20-minute practice sessions about 3 or 4 days a week. And in those practice sessions, you spend 10 minutes on technical exercises and 10 minutes on playing songs. He has an app that will show you chords of songs as you go along and play with a MIDI backing track, essentially. Or he has play-along videos that are free. His app is about $60 a year, and his YouTube videos are free to play along with. Just a little harder to adjust the speed. You can only use the YouTube presets. In his app, you can pick exactly the tempo you want to play at. And also his app has a wider selection of songs than his YouTube videos. He even has what he calls his practice assistant to help you keep track of what you should be doing. So in this practice assistant, I have checked this box over here, which is an important one to check. Always play with video assistant. So my first minute of my practice session today would be trying to get the A minor chord perfect. And I would do this for 1 minute. And he has some coaching to help you with that. So if I hit play, he will coach me along for that minute. He will also time it and tell me when it's done. So there's not a lot for me to worry about. I just sort of follow the instructions he gives me in the practice video, which relate to his lesson video that I did in that sort of hour-long set of videos. So you can imagine the time you would go over to somebody's house is those hour-long videos. The time you would spend each day practicing for 20 minutes are these practice-along videos, essentially. Now you do 10 minutes of essentially technical exercises in his recommended practice, and then 10 minutes of practicing songs. So he recommends some songs. He has YouTube videos to play along with, or you can do them in his app. Again, for his first three modules, 0, 1, and 2, I did exactly what he said. But then by the time Module 3 came along, I realized I was playing more World of Warcraft than I was practicing guitar. I was always more attracted to video gaming than messing with my guitar. So I felt like I wanted to channel that need for gamification. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to feel like I was playing a game while learning guitar. So now I've changed up what I do a little bit. I do his technical exercises for 10 minutes, and then when I get to the song practice, I switch over to this paid app called Musician. And here, Musician is essentially Guitar Hero, but a real guitar. So let me just show you. Here are the chords I should be playing. Musician is going to try to help me out, especially as I'm getting them wrong. These windows will go away as I start getting them right. I don't have my guitar going, so obviously they're all going to be wrong. And in the practice mode, I can speed this up, slow this down. What's really powerful for me about Musician is that if I play one note wrong in a chord, it will point that note out to me. It'll point it out on the string and it'll say this note was dead. I think that was a game changer for me. In playing along with Justin Guitar's videos, I would be wondering, did I get that chord quite right? But the song would be moving on, and I couldn't really think about it or try to correct what I'd done. However, with Musician, if it says, oh, you missed that one note in E minor, then the next time that chord comes up, I think about that chord a little harder, think about my finger positions, try to get it right. Because maybe I had one finger touching two strings. Maybe I had my finger not quite in the right place relative to the fret, or I wasn't pushing down hard enough, something like that. Musician also has recommended finger positions. I would actually say once you're doing chords, ignore those. Instead, use Justin Guitar's finger positions and just pay attention to what note you should be playing along with the song. That has been really helpful for me. And so once I've finished the 10 minutes of technical exercises with Justin, I'll switch over to Musician and I'll play through a couple songs that use chords I'm learning right now. So right now, this song, Take Me Out, Rust Kebab, and Lunar Blues, I happen to know are using the chords I'm learning, the quote cowboy chords. After I've done that, that takes about maybe 4 to 5 minutes, depending on how well I'm doing and how many times I want to repeat the songs. I'll do a couple of their lessons or other recommended exercises. So here, I'm in a section of Musician about fretting positions. This is really just getting your hand used to staying in one place so that you don't have to think about what finger should go on one string. It's about getting that automatic for a given song. So they have recommendations for how to look at a song you're about to play beforehand and figure out what the right sort of fixed hand position is. Which is not an idea I've covered in Justin Guitar, but again, I'm just switching between the two because I wanted that gamification. If you wanted to repeat exactly what I've done, then I would say do his first 3 modules, 0, 1, and 2, exactly as he recommends. Module 3 is about where Musician and Justin Guitar have their first overlaps. This is where things start to intersect just a little bit. And so for me, that seemed like the natural place to insert Musician into my practice sessions. If any of the pieces that I talked about in this video were interesting, please leave a comment so I can know maybe you want to see me messing up some chords on the guitar so you can see how I'm correcting that both with Justin's lessons and with Musician. If you just want to know how I'm using Justin's website, what I need to click to get places, I'd be happy to show you that too. If you want to know why I picked the guitar I picked, ask me that in the comments. I'd be happy to show you that one as well. I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave comments on what you want to see next if this is of interest to you, and have a good day.